Phil Town's central instruction in this chapter is simple but powerful. When you buy a share, think like an owner. Don't treat a stock as a ticker symbol or a short-term bet. Treat it as a piece of a real business, something you would be proud to own outright. That change in mindset shifts everything. He opens by asking two basic owner questions. Would you want to own the whole business? Do you understand it well enough to do so? Saying yes to both is the starting point. If you won't be proud to have your name on the company, or if you don't understand how it makes money, don't buy it. Town also makes this ethical point. Your investments are a vote for the kind of world you want. If you buy a company that mistreats people, you are, in effect, supporting that behavior. He's not preaching what to buy, only asking you to own businesses you're happy to stand behind. To keep you disciplined, he gives a memorable rule, the 10-10 rule. I won't own this business for 10 minutes unless I'm willing to own it for 10 years. That doesn't mean you never trade, it means you evaluate purchases as if you were a long-term owner. It forces patience and makes you less likely to panic or to chase fads. A real business owner wouldn't shrug off losing money in several of his businesses and say, "Oh well, you should be just as serious." Next comes the crucial idea: understand your business. If you can't predict the future of the company even a little bit, you can't estimate its value, and you can't invest with certainty. But understand doesn't mean you must be an industry insider. Town is explicit. You only need enough familiarity to feel comfortable. If you use and like a product, say Cheerios, that can be enough to get started on a deeper review of the company that makes it, General Mills. You don't need to know every supply chain detail. Meaning is the first simple filter. Later M's, moat, management, margin, add the deeper checks. To find businesses you understand, Town borrows a practical exercise from Jim Collins. Draw 3 intersecting circles and label them passion, talent, and money. List what you love, what you're good at, and what makes or costs you money. Things that show up in 2 or 3 circles are natural candidates. If river guiding appears in all 3 for Phil, then cruise lines, theme parks, and outdoor recreation companies are logical industries to investigate. The exercise narrows your search to areas where you already have an edge. Town then walks you through a hands-on way to translate your interests into a shopping list. Visit finance sites, click through sectors, and find the industries that match your experience. For a former river guide, that means recreational activities, cruises, resorts, apparel, even sporting goods. He gives sample tickers from his own life: Columbia, Quicksilver, Harley-Davidson, Vail Resorts, Whole Foods, Starbucks, to show how ordinary life points you to candidate businesses. He cautions, don't confuse familiarity with true understanding. You should be able to explain what the company does and why customers will keep buying its products or services. If that's fuzzy, you don't have the certainty rule number 1 demands. Phil also shares a cautionary personal story, his investment in Next, Steve Jobs' 1980s venture. It looked brilliant on paper. Great leader, smart product, but it lacked the industry history and compatibility needed to predict the future. Phil lost millions. The lesson is twofold. Young companies without a record are inherently risky, and never buy something you don't really understand. Even brilliant people and hyped technology don't guarantee a safe investment. Practical takeaways from the chapter. Think like an owner. If you wouldn't buy the whole company, don't buy a piece. Respect your values. Own companies you'd be proud to promote. Use the 10-10 rule. Evaluate every purchase as a 10-year commitment. Do the 3 circles exercise. Let your passions and talents guide the industries you study. Start where you already have an edge. Your day-to-day life points to opportunities. Avoid the unknowable. If you can't reasonably predict the business's future, don't invest. Build a watch list. From the industries you identify, make a short list of companies to monitor. These will be the candidates you apply the full 4M test to, and they'll become your weekly checkups. Town's final message in the chapter is encouraging. Most people already know more about businesses than they think. You don't need to be a Wall Street prodigy to apply rule number 1. With a little focused homework, using your own experience as the starting point, you can find businesses that have meaning to you, then test them for moat, management quality, and margin. Start small, stay disciplined, and think like an owner. The chapter ends with a bridge to the next stage of the process. Once you've found companies that have meaning and made your initial list, the next question is whether they have a moat, a real, durable competitive advantage. That's the next M to inspect before you ever think about paying a price.